that the training organized is fruitful and it helps to resolve any of your doubts and questions which are present. I am also going to look forward for many mentors coming forward. This year, our goal is to build new leaders for District 125, and mentoring definitely brings out the best in you. It is a very satisfactory feeling to give back what you have learned from the movement, and being a club mentor is one such opportunity. So, without taking much time, I wish you all of the best for a happy learning experience. And I hand it over back to our trainer for today, Toastmaster Ashrafali Jahagirdar, to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, District Director TM Ashrafali. Let's have a round of applause for him. All right. Shall we begin?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Now, as the name suggests here, we are going to speak about mentoring, and in particular club mentoring. But before I begin or take a deep dive into the session, I would like to ask one question. When you hear the word mentor, who is that person or people that come to your mind? You can either type it in the chat or unmute yourself and say it out loud.
Sir, I missed the first line. What did you say?
I said, when you hear the word mentor, who is that person? Who that word reminds you of? Or does it remind you of a couple of people?
I would say my teacher.
Teacher. Okay, that's a good start. Sorry, can you say that again? Teacher is one thing. Okay. MSD. Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Was he your mentor? Okay. But you would like to emulate him. Anyway, good. Any other answers? We need to keep this interactive. Typing his first manager, boss. Okay. That's very lucky of you. Okay. So parents, yes, exactly. I was looking for this answer. Don't you think parents are the first ever mentors that we have when we step into this world? When I hear the word mentor, when I read the word mentor, it instantly reminds me of my father, of my mother. And they are our mentors in the true sense. For example, when we are toddlers, when we are infants, we are absolutely dependent on our parents for everything, right? From eating to sleeping to doing all our activities. And our parents, they help us in each and every aspect of our lives. Then eventually we go to school, we form friends, we have teachers, we look up to our teachers, and then we start emulating them. In fact, my daughter, who is 4-year-old, she believes that her teacher is always right. And her parents, her teacher, in fact, takes precedence over her parents and her friends. Her friends also take precedence. So that is how it is. But eventually, as we grow, our dependency on our parents reduces, right? And at some point of time, we are dependent on our parents only financially. And then when we turn into adults, that dependency also goes away. And then we look up to our parents only for advice or support or encouragement. And in fact, most of the parents, I hope, want their children to be independent, want their children to be capable, want their children to be confident to face the world. They want their children to step out on their own and prosper, grow, and become someone that they wish to become. So the parents, I hope, and we as parents who are having children, they have this vision for their child or their children. So if you look at all these aspects, I think parents define mentorship or the role of mentor in the complete sense of the word. Do you all agree, or do you have any differing opinion? Anyone? Guys, you need to answer. I know it's Saturday morning, but let's keep it interactive so that we get most out of this session.
Yes, agreed.
Yes, totally agreed.
Thank you. So if I can say that if we look at our parents and we just follow what they have been doing, knowingly or unknowingly, we can become effective mentors. Do you all agree? Yes, I think.
Yes.
Of course. So then we know what mentoring is. Why do we need this session then? That should be your question. I hope you have the question. Now, as the title suggests, this is New Club Mentoring Matters. Now, is club mentoring different or the same? What does it involve? What are the things that go into club mentoring? Is it similar to what our understanding of mentoring is? That is what we are going to learn today or understand today. All right? Okay. So today I'm going to cover these topics. What are the official duties of a mentor in the context of club mentor in Toastmasters? Quality club meetings, building and maintain membership, education program, and distinguished club program. So these are the topics. We are going to look at the role of the club mentor in the light of these topics, one by one. Now, what is a mentor? We have already defined what a mentor is with an example. Okay, Muralidhar has a question. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. So we understand, mentor, and I'm just trying to, gain more knowledge on mentor versus coach.
Yes.
So can you just a little bit elaborate?
I'm coming to that. So just a ground rule, I forgot to mention it. We'll take questions later. I have a dedicated segment for questions at the end of the session. There are two reasons for it. First of all, if I have questions later, then I will be able to cover all the topics that I wish to cover in this session. Secondly, if you want to ask questions, you have to pay attention, make a note during the session so that you can ask the questions later. And third is, if you ask the questions later, you get to revisit the topic that we discussed in the session. So it's kind of a revision. All right. So please note down your questions and hold on to them. If it is very relevant, then you can type it in the chat and then I'll pick it up. Okay. Of course, yeah. So let's look at the definition of mentor in a formal way. A mentor is someone who shares the expertise and knowledge with one or more people who have less experience. Now, we as Toastmasters, we know that words matter, that words have meaning. So each and every word here has certain meaning. A mentor is someone who shares their expertise. That means the mentor has to have certain level of expertise, first of all, and knowledge of how Toastmasters program, Toastmasters education program, how meetings are run, what all things go into that. So you need to have certain level of expertise and knowledge, and you are sharing it with someone who has less experience. So someone who is new to Toastmasters, or someone who is new to the program entirely, or is a new club in our context. Now, as Muralidhar pointed out, we need to make a distinction between mentor and a coach. Now, you all have filled the registration form for this meeting, for this session, and there were two options, or whether you could join mentor training or club coach training, or both the trainings. So I had a lot of questions from Toastmasters, new Toastmasters, saying, what is the difference? Now, generally, if you look outside Toastmasters, or generally speaking, a mentor there is a clear distinction between a mentor and a coach. A mentor is someone, now as we drew parallel between mentoring and parenting, someone like a parent who is going to be with you throughout and will have a personal relationship with a mentee. They won't be focusing only on a specific area, but they will help you, guide you in different aspects of your life. And a mentor is a person who a mentee would like to go back to for support, to be a hearing ear, for advice. So that is kind of a mentor relation. Of course, mentors can also be coaches, but coach, in the true sense of, is someone who is focused on a specific thing. Like for example, like in the cricketing world today, we have bowling coaches, separate bowling coaches. We have batting coaches. Do you think Virat Kohli needs a batting coach? The kind of player that he is? Of course not. But he would like to refine his skill. He would like to improve certain areas that he thinks would help him to even excel or be even better. So that is why he can make use of the coach's expertise or knowledge or a view of a third person to improve that. And that is the coach's job. Nothing more, nothing less. It's very tangible in that sense. But mentor is, even the cricketing leagues today have mentors, separate mentors, who look at the physiological, the physical, the mental well-being of the players. They also try to motivate the players. So they have a different relationship, and there is a certain trust between the players or the mentees and the mentors. That is how it's generally outside. But in Toastmasters, the distinction is also very clear. Here, the mentor is someone, as the definition says, who helps people who have less experience. That a mentor is appointed for a new club by the district, and the mentor's job is to bring the new club up to speed. The mentor, a club mentor in Toastmasters, he would serve as a tutor, as a teacher for the new club to help them understand how the program is run, how meetings are run. So that's the job of the club mentor primarily. And the club coach has a different dynamics. There could be certain clubs which would not be doing well. They would have certain challenges. There would be some crisis, unfortunately. In that situation, the district would appoint a club coach for that club to help them with those challenges. And I think there is a certain goal as well. I think DTM Mayan can correct me. Is the goal for club coach is to make the challenging club become a distinguished club.
Absolutely.
So that is very specific. So those are the two things. So mentor is generally a guide, a philosopher, a friend. He can also be a coach in many situations, but a coach has a very specific task, very measurable thing. And since the coach in Toastmasters deals with challenging situations, they have to have a certain level of experience, certain level of educational qualifications within Toastmasters. And the duration is also more. A club mentor could serve for 6 months, or in some cases more than 6 months, but for a club coach, the duration is more. Of course, both the roles will give you credit towards DTM. Is that understood? Are there any questions? If yes, then you can ask them later. All right. Okay, so we'll move on. Now, what are the benefits of being a mentor in Toastmasters? So whenever I take up anything new or go on any learning, the first thing that I ask myself is, what is in it for me? I'm very selfish in that sense. So what can I get by doing this role, or by taking up this training, or by doing something? That is the first question. Because if that is clear, then I'll be able to put in my 100%, because I know I'm going to gain something out. I can do that role with diligence, with utmost sincerity, because I know at least in the short term, I'm going to achieve something by doing it. So if you are aiming to take up the role of mentor, you should look at what it offers you in terms of learning, what are the tangible benefits, what are the intangible benefits. So as you can see, I'll read it from the bottom. Of course, the most tangible benefit is you earn a credit towards DTM. That is very obvious. Secondly, you apply leadership skills in new situations. You are dealing with new club. Maybe you have not taken up a role where you're starting out from scratch. So you will get to test your leadership skills. I would say that. Build teamwork skills, very obvious. Obtain fresh perspective. You're dealing with suppose you're part of a community, corporate club, then you're being a mentor of a community club. Then what are those dynamics? So you'll get to have that perspective. Invest in future of Toastmasters. Very obvious. Again, we are tutoring or mentoring new members, new clubs, which will be part of the district for a longer time. We are in a way investing in the future of Toastmasters. We are helping the district grow. And of course, you will prove yourself as a valuable leader, not only to the Toastmasters community at large, but also to yourself. You can again test your leadership skills, see if you can really deliver. So these are very obvious, but I would like you to focus on the first two benefits, that is share expertise and translate values and strategies into productive actions. So this, in my opinion, are tangible benefits. How? Share expertise. Now, we are all experienced people over here, experiencing their own areas of work or in Toastmasters. And in Toastmasters, of course, we get a chance to share our expertise. But the thing is, are you sharing an expertise? Are you able to articulate stuff? Can you share your expertise and also inspire along the way? Is what you can learn here. Because you're dealing with new people. You not only are going to share knowledge about Toastmasters or about the program, but also they want them to be performing well. So that when you leave, the club sustains, and not only sustains, but it grows and prospers. The members grow, they benefit from the program. So sharing expertise, being articulate at it, being very effective at it, is what you're going to learn from this program. In addition to what? Because we get to share, as I said, our opinions in Toastmasters through evaluations, through educational sessions, all that. But here it's very tangible. Whether the club performs well or not also depends on how well you have informed. Now translate values into strategies, or values and strategies into productive actions, strategy to action. And very few of us in the audience, or many of you in the audience, might have had this role at their work where you have had an opportunity to translate or have a very holistic view from a strategy into action, creating that plan. But there are few of us who are at the beginning of their career, so to say, or they haven't had this opportunity. So this is a great opportunity for you to test those skills or to learn those skills or enhance those skills. How? We'll look at it. All right, so far so good. Am I making sense?
Yes.
You can wave your hands.
Yes.
All right. Just a quick note. Yeah. So as I said, the mentor is appointed by the district director or the club board director for a new club. So there, during the charter itself, there is a charter form where two mentors can be assigned. However, the mentors could be assigned after the club has been chartered, but it has to be done within 60 days. So that is how the process is. So this is the form that we follow. Now, what is the process? Do the mentors get involved directly for the new club, or is there someone in the middle who is going to facilitate that? But typically, you may all know this, but typically it would be the club sponsor who would be generating leads or following leads, getting in contact with the interested parties who want to form a club. And then they would have demo meetings, they would recruit members and do all the legwork, submitting all the appropriate paperwork, and then looking at the financial matters. Money matters, isn't it? So all that legwork is done by a club sponsor. We will have a dedicated club sponsor training in a few weeks. So stay tuned for that announcement. But this is the club sponsor is the one who begins the chartering process, or who completes the chartering process. And once the the club is chartered, then the mentors take over per se. Now, when a work is transitioned from a person to other, there is always some loss. There is always message lost in transition. We all know as Toastmasters. So it's important that if you want to be a mentor, if you wish to be a club mentor in future, you be part of this chartering process right in the beginning. So there are a few avenues that you can look for. You can attend the demo meetings. It's a good way to understand the atmosphere or the culture of the particular organization or the party where the club has been formed. You could get to meet prospective members. You would also get to rub shoulders with the leadership of the in the company. Suppose if you are forming a charter club, so you are part of the process right from the beginning. So when you transition to the role or when you take up the role of mentor, there are no surprises. You're already in that role, and then you just have to continue from there. So as a club mentor, you can at least proactively do it, or you should do it rather. Now, before we get into the duties and everything, as I said, or as we discussed, that the club mentor is mainly going to be helping a new club, a new set of people who are forming a club or who have formed a club with various education programs and how to run Toastmasters meeting and everything right from the beginning. They are less experienced, as the definition says. So people are going to come up with certain questions to you, which may sound basic to you, very fundamental to you, but as they are less experienced, you have to answer those questions. You have to address their queries. So we'll have a quick exercise. We have a set of questions which will help you understand the scenarios that you might run into when you take up this role. Are you up for it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll ask the question and you can jump in or you can type the answers in the chat. Okay. And we can have a brief discussion on it. The first question is, can an evaluator require a member to repeat a project if the member didn't meet all of the project objectives?
Yes.
Meaning the evaluator said you haven't done, your speech was not up to the mark, please repeat it. Can an evaluator mandate a member to do it? I say yes, no. Okay, from Dennis. Any other answers? Maybe yes, no, maybe. Can suggest. Okay, that's a good one.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a mixed bag of answers. There's only one maybe. There are two yeses and two no's. The answer to here is that, of course, you can suggest as an evaluator. It's always. Sorry.
Sorry. So mine answer was, it's not mandate. The member can complete that, mark his project completion, but it's good we suggest and he can give that project again.
Absolutely.
But he can mark that project complete.
Absolutely, Raghav. So the evaluator can suggest, cannot mandate or require a member to repeat. It's again the member's discretion. The Toastmasters is a self-paced, self-learning, and self-experiential program. That's the triad we use. So you cannot really ask people to do something. Of course, it's if the member feels that he did not perform or up to the mark, or he wishes to improve on it, he can always. It's the member who delivered a speech or a project. He can always reattempt it as many times as he wishes, but you cannot mandate it. Next question: if a speaker wants more time for a speech than given, can they revise the time with the Vice President Education's approval? So I have a 7-minute speech in the project, but I want to deliver a 10-minute speech. Can we make that happen? No. Okay. Any other answers?
No.
Or do we let the club decide? What do you think? Or it depends on the who is delivering a speech? No. It's a big no from.
No, I think it is part of the integrity, is what I say, and we have to deliver it within the time frame. That's the guideline that we follow.
Right.
Absolutely.
Also, we can recommend a project if speaker want to deliver more time. We can recommend other project which had better timeline, which meets his suitable timeline. But it's also kind of a learning to squeeze your project with that specific provided time.
Okay. A speech project, as we know, has certain objectives. Is time one of the objectives? Finishing without the time is an objective. What do you say? Can it be an objective? It is. Again, you have to be effective with less words. Right? That is how you can be an effective communicator. So you need to follow that guideline of time. It is one of the objectives of the speeches. So you cannot revise the time. Even if you take the VP education or the area director, or for that matter, the district director in confidence, we have to follow that objective, meet that objective of time. All right. Can the vice president education refuse to approve a member's level or path completion if they believe member could have performed better? Does the VP education have that authority
No,
in Toastmasters?
no.
No.
Great. Of course not. Again, the vice president education can suggest or ask the member to reevaluate his completion of path if the VP education feels that there is certain gap that's to be done, but he cannot refuse to approve any member's level path. Of course, we need to check if the member has genuinely completed the path. That's a different discussion. But in the case of genuine attempts and in the case of taking up projects and delivering speeches, if the member has ticked all the boxes, then the VP education cannot refuse to approve any members. The VP education doesn't have that authority. I always believe, or I believe that all the ExCom members are first amongst equals. We are, the servant leadership is the term that we usually used in Toastmasters, or it is associated with Toastmasters. So that is how the things operate in Toastmasters. You cannot refuse or approve. There is no fail or pass. It's always guidelines and recommendations. Okay. So far, so good.
Yes.
Shall we move to the next question? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
This is very interesting. If a member speech went overtime, can the member still be included when the club votes for the best speaker of the meeting?
Yeah, I think it's up to the club.
No, I see a resounding no. Okay. I think Toastmaster Raghavendra is right. This we can leave it up to the club. It's the club discretion. There's no mandate or there's no recommendations against it. If the club feels that we could discount time in certain situations, then for voting for the best speaker, of course. And not every club may have voting for the best speaker. They may recognize the contribution of a member for that meeting in a different way. So there is no such hard and fast thing that you should disqualify the member if they went overtime. It is up to the club. It's up to club membership to decide. Okay, next question. Can the guests and the club participate in voting for the best table topic speaker of the meeting?
Yes. But again, it's up to the club, but it's also yes for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Most of the clubs participate, have this practice. It's very difficult to distinguish between a guest and a member, at least during the meeting.
Yes.
And it would be a logistical nightmare to exclude the guest. And if you are a big club and if you are a big meeting, a lot of attendees, then that doesn't make logistical sense as well.
Yes.
So again, it's a club's decision what they follow here. There's no guideline as such. Okay, so far we have answered all the questions. So I'm happy that the most of the audience here is at least aware of the basic foundational or fundamental questions. And I think we are almost ready to take up the role of a mentor. Okay. Now, there would be certain instances where you may not have answers to some of the questions. And it is bound to happen because Toastmasters is a huge program. There are people who have, I know people who have been in Toastmasters for 25 years, for more than 2 decades, 3 decades, and they still have an urge to learn because there is so much to learn, so much to acquire, so much knowledge to acquire. So you cannot have answers to all the questions all the time, isn't it? So there are some useful resources that you can make use of. What are those resources? Can anybody help me with that?
Club leadership handbook.
Club leadership
What-
handbook. Okay.
Mm.
Anyone else? Which is the one where it's easier or the easiest to refer to and answer the question?
Toastmasters
Yeah,
site.
Toastmasters website. Okay. Anything more? I see only Toastmaster Raghavendra. I think he had a heavy breakfast, light breakfast today. Rest of the people. Anyway, so anything where you can refer quickly and then, or point, member who's asked you a question, point in that direction. Anyone else can jump in? How many of you have visited the District 125 website? Please raise your hands.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think it is very comprehensive?
Yes.
Yes.
It has a lot of details.
There are a lot of details, right? A lot of relevant details, not only information overload. You'll find everything there, and you'll find links to the Toastmasters website as well, which are grouped together. It's a very consolidated, comprehensive collection, if I'm asking. It's because of all these efforts that we have achieved President's Distinguished in the first year itself, right? So that is also a good resource. So as a club mentor, what you can do when you have taken up the role and people start asking you questions, if you don't have the answers, you can help them find the answers on the websites, or you yourself can refer the website or the district website and try to answer, or make them or familiarize them with those resources. These are the basic ones, so that the next time they have anything they want to get answered, or they have a query, they can also do the research on their own, so that when you have completed your term, they are on their own feet, as we say. They are running the show on their own. They are in a way capable. So these are some of the resources that you can refer to: Distinguished Club Program, Progress Roundtable Forms, Leader Letter. All these resources are available on the District 125 website. I'll just quickly show you what the Distinguished Club Program points are for the new members, of course, for the benefit of new members who are absolutely new. Just a quick. Okay, is it visible? Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is what the Distinguished Club Program looks like, or the goals of Distinguished Club Program. So this is kind of your roadmap to what should a club do in a particular term, or in general. So there are goals that you can plan to achieve. 2 levels, and there are certain points, and based on your achievement, you will get certain recognition. You can help the new members, the new club members, to get familiarized with themselves with these goals, to keep a track of their progress through these goals. You can also get involved in keeping a track. We also want the members to be aware of this. Okay. We'll go back to the presentation. Now, I'll go back to a few slides. So I asked you to focus on these two benefits: share expertise and translate values into strategies. So when you are answering these questions, when you are doing research to answer these questions that the club members would come you with, you are in a way sharing your expertise, isn't it? You are exercising that skill of sharing your expertise, and you want to be shared in an effective manner so that whatever question has been addressed to you is resolved. So by practicing this, or by being a mentor, you would be able to practice this. That's a demonstration of that benefit. Okay. The next one was, how do you Now let's look at the official duties as a club mentor. Now, so far we were looking at knowledge sharing and sharing of expertise, guiding people in a way. Now, what are the official duties that Toastmasters wants you to perform as a club mentor? Can anyone read this? Can anyone help me to read this? Anyone other than Toastmaster Raghvendra?
Yes, I can read it.
Okay, please go ahead.
Ensure the club is strong and fully functional.
Okay.
That's the first point.
Mhm.
And the second point is confirm officers understand their duties and have the tools they need to perform them.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster. My first question would be, or rather you should have this question: what does it mean to be a strong and functional club? What does it mean? What do you understand by a strong and a functional club?
The club has required members, minimum required members, and all the meetings are happening on the decided time, like on the given time.
Okay. Club has members and we have regular meetings. All right. Anyone else has any other opinion? Director Kunal says minimum 20 members, projects been deliver regular meetings. Nice, yeah. Anything else?
So, as it is, if the club is going towards their club growth plan, which they have decided, so if they're strong and fully functional.
Okay. So there are two words: strong and fully functional. If I ask you individually what strong club means and what's a fully functional club, are they one and the same, or are they a different way of looking at it?
Dif-
20 members, yeah. That's also. Can we call it a strong club? Yes.
These are
Do
two
you
different things.
I think it's different.
different?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. Yeah.
So do you believe that you are part of a strong and a fully functional club? How many of you feel that you are part of a strong and fully functional club? Raise of hands. Okay. What happens in a Toastmasters club? We have meetings, right? We have meetings. We take up meeting roles. We give speeches. Now, suppose meetings are not happening, or meetings are happening irregularly. Can we call it fully functional? No.
No.
Okay.
So if a club has, suppose, less than 20 members, or there are 20 members on the roster, but only 8 or 6 members show up to every meeting at any given point in time, can we call it a strong club? Of course not.
No.
Of course not.
Right? We have to have a certain membership base, and we have to have regular activities or regular events that is Toastmasters club that happen, meaning meetings, and those have to be complete, in the sense that there are speeches, every role is taken up. There is a grammarian, there is an R counter, general evaluator, there are evaluators. All those roles are filled. Ideally, people shouldn't have multiple roles in a meeting. If that happens regularly, then we can term a club, at least in my opinion, a strong and fully functional. Do you all agree, or
Yes.
I'm really off here? Of
Uh,
course.
There are certain, I guess, resource from Toastmaster itself for successful club meeting. If club is following that meeting, all the roles are there and everything. So I think that's a fully strong and fully functional club.
Of course. Thank you. So one of your official duties is to ensure, see again, words have value. We are Toastmasters. Ensure that the club is strong and fully functional. That doesn't mean that out of 10 meetings, 5 meetings were well complete, and then rest of the 5 meetings, okay, could have been better. You have to ensure that every meeting at the club is complete and it's strong and fully functional in every sense. The second is confirm officers and understand their duties. Right? So is this related to the first duty? The second duty is you have to ensure or confirm that all the officers of your new club that you're mentoring understand their duties, understand their role, understand their responsibilities. What will happen if the VP education doesn't really know how to create an agenda or how to run a meeting? They for the lack of training, suppose. Will the club have meetings that are complete, meetings where every role is taken up, meetings which are quality,
No.
quote unquote?
No.
What would happen if the treasurer, suppose, misses the deadline of paying to Toastmasters International? At least in our club, we ask members to pay to the treasurer, and the treasurer then pays the dues of the members to Toastmasters International within the time frame. So if the treasurer is not aware that he has to do it in a given time, what would happen? Of course, because of lack of training or because of less experience, not deliberate. What would happen in that scenario?
We'll have to meet a DCP point, and the club will be become vulnerable to being suspended, become vulnerable club, because if they again miss payment.
Yes, so these two duties are, yeah, of course. Thank you for answering that. That makes sense. So of course, these two duties are relatable. We need to make the club officers understand their duties. And if the club officers understand and internalize what their duties are, they will in turn ensure that the club is strong and fully functional. Do you all agree?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when we looked at the benefit, translate strategy into action. Does this look like a strategy to you? Ensure the club is strong and fully functional. Is there any specific goal or objective or set of goals attached to it? It's a very high level plan, isn't it?
Yes.
So we can term it as a strategy. Now you have to put it into action. For that, you need to formulate a plan. For that, you need to work with the club officers. For that, maybe you have to, if it is a corporate club, you'll have to work with the leadership over there. You'll have to work with the membership members over there. Maybe you'll have to work with the district, get experts and all that. So you'll have to formulate a plan to bring this strategy into reality. And then by doing so, you will be able to develop that capacity of translating the strategy into a planned execution. That is one of the benefits that you'll get by taking up this role. And not only the club will benefit, the new club will benefit, but you'll also learn a lot of things. Are you following? Am I making sense? Okay. Okay. I'll take it as a yes. Silence is always golden. Yeah. Now we spoke about making a club strong and functional. That means we are trying to improve the quality of the meeting. What goes into improving the quality of club meetings per se? Because club meetings are at the heart of Toastmasters education program. What do you need to improve the quality of the meeting or make the meeting of a better quality or a good quality, where people have certain values, derive certain value from a meeting. They say if you fail to plan, you plan to. Guys, I need your help here.
Can I?
Let's keep it interactive here. Sure. Hello.
Can I?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, in order to have the healthy moment in the club, I think more of the educational so that people are attracted and feel that they are achieving their what they want, and that's how I would say that the healthy.
Yes. So in order to have a quality meeting, you have to start preparation well in advance. You need to plan your club meetings. Any VP educations in the audience?
I'm VP education.
Okay, so can you help me understand what goes into planning a meeting?
We need to get the role players. So what we do is we basically launch a poll onto the role takers and also a rooster for filling in the role takers. We also have to explain the role players' role and give them a script, mentor them for playing the role. Bring in good players from outside club maybe. There are a lot of newcomers in the club. So those are the ones which goes into planning the meeting and evaluate us according to the level of the speaker. For example, icebreaker speech, and we also have to train the first time evaluators in the club. So matching the expertise with the expectation of the speaker. And also engaging the guest as well as engaging the members in the table topic called speeches and planning open houses. These are the normal meetings and education sessions. It should be a mix of both. Planning those in advance.
Absolutely. So we need to plan this. There are so many things to be done. So we need to plan it in advance. What if you start planning a day before the meeting? Will you be able to tick all the boxes? Of course not. So the foundation or the backbone of a quality meeting, it's planning. And VP education has to play a very important role. And what are the main roles in a meeting? The Toastmaster of the day and general evaluator. Right? So we need to plan for this. So in our club, we had a practice where we used to plan for the entire month in the beginning itself, who would be the Toastmaster of the day, who would be the general evaluator, at least the main role players, and with their backups. And that really helped us to have a good quality meeting, where everybody got where the time was managed properly, where everybody got an equal opportunity to speak. There were very less glitches. That is where quality club meetings needs a lot of planning. Planning and preparation is of utmost importance. So this we all know. I just am repeating it so that it refreshes. It serves as a refresher. But the last point here, I hope you have noted this. Create a member service perspective. Now, what does that mean? Can anyone take a guess?
Feedbacks.
Feedbacks. Okay. Anyone else? Member service perspective. I'll give you an example. I recently read a book on Amazon's success, working backwards. Has anyone read the book? I see a few. Okay. So it describes how Amazon has been successful in various unrelated businesses, like from e-commerce to cloud computing to Kindle. So how have they been very successful and very inventive as well? So Amazon is very famous for its customer obsession. Everything they do, they keep their customer at the center, and all the decisions that happen around it. So even if it is a lot of inconvenience to the people who are implementing that particular thing, but the customer's convenience is of utmost importance for them. And the book describes how every decision that they have taken so far, whether to get into digital business or start a Kindle business or get into cloud computing or their hiring practices, or why they despise using PowerPoint presentations and stick to write-ups during their meetings. Everything the book describes very well. I would highly recommend you to read it. But the point here I am making is they are customer service perspective, if I may call that their approach. Customer service, they have a customer service perspective, meaning everything for the customer. Likewise, when we have our meetings, when we plan our meetings, when we conduct our meetings, our goal, our objective, or our obsession, if I may use that word, should be how do we serve the member, a member who has joined the club? How does the member joining this meeting can get maximum value out of their meeting? So if we approach our planning, if we approach our meetings, if we approach our roles as leaders with that perspective, will definitely, quality would be a byproduct, if you ask me. So we need to, and we practice it. Most of the clubs, it's a culture thing in Toastmasters, at least in the districts that we have been, that it's a member service perspective. So we need to share that with the new club. We need to instill that perspective in the new members, in the leaders of the new club, so that eventually they would have that approach towards planning or their entire leadership journey. Does it make sense?
Which paper is it? Operations and supply chain.
Working backwards, it's a book. I'll share the details in the Q&A. Let's not digress. Thanks for asking, by the way. Quality club meetings. Okay. Now, is quality club meeting alone going to help us be better or add value or learn in the Toastmasters program? Of course not. That is an important part, but we need to have a healthy membership as well. And what Toastmasters International suggests is we should have at least 20 members. Why 20? That should be the question that you need to ask. Why not 42? Why not 13? Why 20? Why should we maintain at least 20 members? Because then if you have 20 members, suppose there are 20 members on the roster and 70% of the members attend, then we'll have a complete meeting with all the roles filled, with speeches, with evaluators, and with the audience as well. Nobody has to take up dual roles. And of course, if people are focused in particular role, they tend to perform well. So 20 is the number that Toastmasters International suggests. And we should strive to maintain or build a membership of 20 for a new club as well. And also make the leadership aware of why we need 20 members. And this is, I think, the most common question that people will come and ask you. Why do you need 20 members? I may have 19, I have 18 members, and it's very hard for me to find 2 members. So why does just we live with 18 members? So you need to be ready with that answer. Secondly, we live in a world of floating population. At least in my experience in the Toastmasters membership, many of my friends, when I started out, they are no longer with the club. They're still with Toastmasters, but they have moved abroad. They have moved to certain different cities. Most of them have moved abroad. I think the program really helps them to step up or accelerate in their career. So there is always an outflow of members in Toastmasters, in the clubs. And also, if you're a community club or a thriving club, there is also an influx of new members. Or rather, you need to ensure that new members are added as some members leave. For that, you need to have a membership building culture. We should have regular events where you can add members to it, members to the club. we should have again that approach towards reaching the quality of the meeting or improving the quality of the meeting. Are you following? Am I making sense? Can anybody give me a shout out?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Raghavendra, I would suggest you to.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Of course, you're asking good questions, but I want others to also to participate. Okay. So, can you help me with the membership building contest that Toastmasters International has? The awards that we get, rather, we'll call them as awards. Smedley Award is one. I can give you a hint. Okay. Talk Up. Nice. What is the third?
Talk Up,
Talk Up.
Award, Smedley Award.
Smedley Award.
Talk Up.
Sorry, I missed that. The last one. Talk Up. Talk Up. Fantastic.
Talk Up is a district award. It's not Toastmaster award though. Yeah.
Have you heard the term beat the clock?
Beat the clock.
Yes. So we need to beat the clock. We are running over. So yeah, beat the clock, Talk Up Toastmasters, then Smedley Award. And in addition to that, you can also get individual sponsorships. Where suppose you're in a corporate club and there are few colleagues of yours who wants to join the club, you can act as a sponsor to them. And if you sponsor a certain amount of members, you will also get a recognition and award from Toastmasters International. Sponsor pins, which you proudly show in Toastmasters events or outside. So these are the Toastmasters events that happen. You should take full advantage of it, and you should make the new club and the leadership of the club aware of all these things. And there are benefits to it. Again, as I said, as old members leave, new people join, and new people come with fresh perspective. That is universal. In the corporate also, people want to have new members because they bring new perspectives, new ideas. And ideally, if a club is a mix of new and old members, the meetings is a lot of fun for both the old and the new members. It becomes the meetings are no longer monotonous. It's a very interesting club. You can form bonds outside club. So that helps in the overall learning, and then it helps in achieving your objective of joining Toastmasters. So you need to encourage that, instill that approach of membership, or instill the membership building culture in the new. All right. I'll go to the next slide. So that we talked about club membership contest, beat the clock, Talk Up Toastmasters, Medley Awards. You can make use of all the online membership building resources. Toastmasters website, you can find all the resources. If not, go in the district website, you'll see all the contents there. We alluded to this. Now, what could be some promotional strategies that we can attract new members? Any VP memberships or VP PRs in the audience who would like to take a stab at this? What promotional strategies that you employ in your clubs so that you can attract more people, both corporate and community?
Can conduct open houses and membership building campaigns within corporates, where the email can be sent out to all the company associates and let them make sure they attend, and that email should contain some core points that will attract them, because or depending upon the audience. For corporates, they need communication and leadership skills. Additionally, our pathways projects also can be added in the communication.
So Toastmasters Club of Pune Advanced used to run this tall tea contests, if I'm not mistaken. So that is also a way of attracting new members. Right? The setup is informal. It's not cutthroat competition like we have in the international speech contest or any other contests. Although we are a mutually supportive culture. But you can have such events where you can attract more people, make them aware. And once they are join the meetings, the such events, you can also inform them and ensure that they join. So such promotional activities can be carried out. Now, along with adding new members, you should also maintain or retain a certain membership. Certain old members, if they have no genuine reason to leave the club, then we should ensure that they stay with the club, because it provides, as they say, continuity. If a member is part of this club for a long time, they know the culture of the club, they know what works in a particular club, so they can guide the new members, so they get to mentor themselves. So that is the skill that they learn, and also new members can benefit from their experience at the club. And you can also ensure that there is always a next rank of leadership ready to take up the role at the club or even at the district. So membership retention is also to be done. In our club, we used to practice, or we practice where the VP membership and his team. So we have a council for VP membership. They contact old members who maybe not be regular because of certain reasons. They always are in their touch and ensure that they attend the meeting. We also have irregular fellowship activities where we keep people engaged. That's why people stay with the club for a longer time. So membership retention has also to be taken care of, or also to be, the importance of membership retention should be emphasized with the new club, the new leadership. Last but not the least, club's choice again. Now, the first 3 points were invocation, pledge, patriotic oath. I don't think so any clubs in India, or at least in our club, in our district, they follow this practice. But we have this practice of giving best of meeting awards, best speaker, best role player, best auxiliary role player, and evaluator, all that. So now again, we go back to the distinction between a mentor and the club coach. Now, a mentor is someone who facilitates, who enables, yes, I think DTM Mayank has something to add. Yes, DTM Mayank.
Yeah, thanks, Toastmaster Ashraf. I would like to correct that there are many clubs who follow the invocation, sometimes the pledge to flag or the patriotic oath, and sometimes they also invite the new members pledge as well. So I just wanted to add that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, DTM Mayank. Yes. So the larger point here is that you leave it to the club. You being the mentor, you have to facilitate what is best for the club. Don't try to impose your ideas on the club, meaning that I come from a certain club where this practice is followed, and that is why you, being a new club, you should follow it. Whatever comes naturally to the club, whatever is suitable for that particular club, whatever is suitable for that particular membership, you leave it to them. You encourage them. If they're going wrong, of course, you can point it out, but let everything be a club's choice. Of course, within the governing principles and the protocols, but ensure that you don't overstep your role. That needs to be understood. If you again draw parallels with parenting, ideal parenting is where you are not a helicopter parent, as they call it. You're involved in every aspect, but you just facilitate, enable. And your goal should be to make your children, or our goals of our parents were to make us confident, make us capable, make us educated, so that we can face the world. So that's what your goal as a mentor should be of a new club, where you are making them understand the things, and then eventually they should take off on their own. When you leave your term after 6 months, the club should be strong and functional. They should be doing well. They should know where all the resources are, whom to ask questions, where to look for the questions. So all those things, the club should be, the membership, the leadership of the club should be doing on their own. That should be their entire objective. And let the club decide how they approach it. Do not impose anything. Are you following? Okay. And as I showed, the Distinguished Club Program and the Club Success Plan, these you can make use of to follow, to plan. These are guidelines. This is a roadmap that you can follow. It's easier to plan, or it is recommended to use them, these resources, to plan your meeting. Okay. So this was the end of the formal training. Again, to re-emphasize, if you're taking up the role of a mentor, you need to ask, first question you need to understand is why are you doing it? You should do it with certain purpose. What are the benefits that you get out of it? Because if you know that you're going to get certain benefits, it's easier for you to put in efforts to do the job diligently and with sincerity. So two things, if you're not sure why you're taking up the role, or if you want to figure out why you're taking up the role, you can always look at these benefits: sharing expertise and translating values and strategies to productive actions. This you'll definitely get to practice, and at the end of the term, I promise you, you will be at a next level when it comes to these two things. Secondly, you have to be a facilitator. As I say, I'm sounding like a broken record, but these keywords have to be understood. You need to be facilitator, you need to be an enabler, and develop certain perspective, like service perspective. How do we plan the meetings? You need to develop that culture. You need to tutor that club, and you need to create that atmosphere where the club follows all the best practices right from the beginning, and it becomes the DNA of the club. And third, and the most important, is make use of the resources, the club success plan and distinguished club program, so that you're always on the track. You do not go off track, you do not get sidelined, and the club has certain things to target. So these are the three things you need to ensure when you're taking up the role. In addition to that, I quickly would like to show you the checklist. So Toastmasters, our district has developed a checklist which will help mentors or prospective mentors who have taken up the role of club mentor to perform their role. I'll quickly show what it is. It's very comprehensive. Okay, can you see my screen? Yes. So this is the checklist that a club mentor typically should follow, and if they follow it, the chances of succeeding at this role are very high. So as you can see here, up to 2 mentors are appointed. That's the process. A formal appointment within 60 days or during the charter itself. You need to attend a club district-sponsored club mentor program, like this training program that we have attended. So you have ticked a box already. There is an assessment quiz that you need to take. This is not a measure of how much you have learned, but just to ensure that whatever you have learned stays with you. So you take a quiz that will enable it. And we'll be sharing the links with the quiz, maybe now, if the time permits, or we'll send out a mail to everyone to take up the quiz. So again, you need to serve at least for 6 months from the club charter date. This is the one. Attend 50% of the club meetings each month. 50%, if you follow this diligently, the chances of you achieving the goals or your goals as a club mentor are more. Now you need to conduct educational sessions from certain programs that Toastmasters International has. I'll just list them over here. So out of these 8, you can have 8 sessions within the 2 mentors that the club has. It's not one mentor's responsibility. You should ensure, and it shouldn't happen in one go, that you have back to back. That's not going to add value. Again, you need to have that member service perspective. How is this training going to help the member? So with that, you need to conduct. And once you are done with the term, once you are done with this is the process where you apply for the credit. You get your award for doing your job. So this is the process. All right. With that, I open the floor. Thank you for listening, although quietly, but of course, I appreciate your patience. And if you have any questions, I open the floor for Q&A. To ask our district director, DTM Mayank, since he has been a mentor to both community and corporate club, I would like to ask to share his insights Of course, I'll ask you questions. So again, so how is it different? So being a mentor of a community club, and how is it different from being a mentor of a corporate club? If you could share your experience.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashraf. You have conducted a wonderful session covering almost all the aspects. I can just add to your question that you have asked. Now, mentoring a corporate club, you will have to understand that there are many, you will say, influencers in a corporate club. Probably one of the members in the corporate club might be from the learning and development team or from senior management. So how you manage all of them, bring all of them to a consensus that you are there to help them achieve their goals, is one of the first thing that you do when you become a mentor of a corporate club. Second thing is, you have to tell them very clearly that you are here to guide them and not do things for them. So that expectation management has to be done very clearly. The next thing you have to do is to be in constant touch with the XCOM team and tell them beforehand what they need to plan, organize, and execute. Your role as a mentor will always be to monitor what you have suggested them is being done or not to sit and do things for them. So if we set the expectations clearly, we share the plan ahead of time to them, and then we monitor the checkpoint progress and give constructive feedback for every stage, I am sure that you will succeed as a mentor for a corporate club. For a community club, although you may not have similar kind of control being done from an organization perspective, organizations have policies, protocols. Even for community club, every community club has some kind of a protocol laid down in their addendum or their way of working, you will say. And the mentor needs to understand to respect that culture which has been set up for a new club which is being there by founders or members. We have specialty clubs in our district. Toastmasters for Entrepreneurs is there. Wonders of Women Toastmasters Club is there. We also have the LGBTQIA club, which is the Rainbow Toastmasters Club, which is there. So if you are a mentor for such a club, the mentor should understand the theme, respect, as our core values are there: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Guide them. For a community club, it is very important that people from all walks of life come into that club. So a mentor needs to be inclusive, respect the diversity associated, and demonstrate the value proposition of community club to the members who come here. So that is something which a successful mentor can do for both corporate and community clubs. Back to you. I hope I have covered your points.
Absolutely. The dynamics are different. The approaches also needs to be accordingly. Very well said, TTM. Thank you for your insights. Now I would open the floor for, let's not call it Q&A, let's call it a conversation. We have...
Why not, if I may suggest, why not also hear from our CGD few of his points, because he has created an ecosystem of mentors within his club, which is John Deere Toastmasters Club. And then we can definitely, if you are okay, with your permission, Mr. Trainer.
Of course, why not? The more the merrier. Okay, we still have time. So over to you, DTM Sushil.
Thank you very much, District Director Mayank and Toastmaster Ashrafali. Mentoring requires dedicated time, and you heard it from Ashrafali also, from Hesh also, and from Mayank also, saying that we need to set right set of expectation, and at the same time we need to engage the audience. So I was mentor for a corporate club, Teradata Pune Toastmaster Club, and I was instrumental in creating multiple clubs at John Deere, which we scaled from 1 Toastmaster Club to 4 Toastmaster Clubs. For a similar organization, we are pretty great utilizer of Toastmaster. And yesterday we had a meeting with our L&D head, and she was very instrumental in noting that the way we actually engage Toastmaster into individual learning is commendable. we had individual mentors who helped mentoring the clubs. We didn't seek any external mentor for all these four clubs. All these four clubs, they had club mentors assigned within our ecosystem. So investment, that's yes, definitely first thing. When you are going to invest as a club, how much you are going to invest. I have a statement which I make, if not often, but at least at some point. And this is the one point which I like to make. I would like to repeat that statement. The statement is, I invest in people. So if you are a person who want to invest in people, then definitely mentoring role is that what you can get started with. When you are investing, you have to do a full-hearted investment. You cannot do saying that I will only do this part and then after that I will sit back and. So you have to invest for success of the clubs involved. And thirdly, there will be instances where you will be set back, the club will face setback, you will feel dejected, if not happy, angry, any kind of emotions. All you have to do is, my request is, take a breath, take a step back, and ask yourself that why you have taken this role. The why will help you to overcome all the challenges that will face you in your journey as a mentor. It had helped me. My goal was pretty simple, to replicate the corporate success stories. So Teradata was one outside story which I actually used. I attended their 50, at least 60% of their meetings. We had a list of tasks which need to be done, just like the checklist Toastmaster Ashrafali shared. So then CGD and now our regional advisor, DTM Nitish, he sent out a list of tasks to be done. And we did, I as a club mentor, completely ensure that the club is following. What is the result? All of you know that Teradata Toastmaster Club has been President Distinguished in its inception year and has been, last year they won Diamond Club Award. Is it all because of my mentoring? Well, that's selfish to say. But I will definitely acknowledge that the investment that I did in all the members and the return which members provided to me as a mentor, even when I feel any Teradata Toastmaster Club achieve anything or any of my John Deere Club achieve any great success, I feel pride. So that's my return on the investment which I done. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Ashraf.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, DTM Sushil. Thank you for your insights, and I can understand from your insights or your thoughts is it's going to be a transformative journey, not only in terms of hard skills, leadership and all, but as a person, you'll see a change in yourself after those 6 months. Right. Now let's open the floor for conversation. If you have any questions, let's discuss. We will open the floor for 10 minutes and then we'll conclude. So I see Toastmaster Narayan has something to say. Your mic is off, Toastmaster Narayan.
Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello and a very good morning to all the Toastmasters. This is Toastmaster Narayan from Toastmasters International Margao. First of all, I would like to congratulate for that knowledgeable session and going into nitty-gritty of being a club mentor. I would like to thank Ashraf Ali for giving that wonderful session. My small question is, can I become a mentor of my own home club? Is it possible?
Thank you for that question. This is a very common question. Of course, you can become a member of your own club. Usually what happens is mentors who come from outside, they eventually would become part of a club that they are mentoring. But again, you need to have, as I said, as we go back to the definition, that you need to have certain expertise and knowledge about Toastmasters. A new club or the new membership may not know all the things, but they still need our help, and that is why we are mentoring them. So if you have certain expertise, if you suppose already are a member of Toastmasters International, you can take a dual membership ideally, and that would work. So you can become.
And one more small question, Ashraf. I have already completed my 2 parts, and I'm on the verge of DTM, but they have asked me to do one club coach. So this club mentor would be different from club coach, right?
Of course. Yeah. So club
Okay,
coach,
so
again, as we discussed, club coach is a very specific assignment as such. The duration is different. The goals that are different. You're not helping a new club. You're helping a club who's facing challenges. So a different set of skills, different set of approach needs to be taken over there. So there are two different roles, although there is a lot of overlap, but these are two distinct roles. And we have
So
a club
if I'm
coach tomorrow, which is scheduled with DTM. Rajesh is going to conduct it. I highly recommend that you should you attend that meeting, that training as well. So that would clear all your doubts if you have about these groups.
Thanks a very lot, Ashraf Ali, for that
Thank you.
wonderful session. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Who
Thank
would
you,
like to
Ashraf.
go next?
If I may just add one or
Sure.
two statement. Thank you very much for that. Toastmaster Narayan, club mentor is assigned for a new club, so you cannot be a member of a new club. So that's one aspect. I think your question was much more like, can I be a club coach of my own club? That's how I understood it. Because for mentor, the club has to be a brand new club altogether. Over to you, Ashraf.
Thanks, DTM Sushil. Who would like to go next? Toastmaster Raghavendra. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Ashraf Ali, for this wonderful session. It was like quite of a insight learning and quite of a engaging session. So thank you very much. So I have a couple of questions. One thing, as we need to equip our club officer with the tools, so with that they can perform their duties well. So one very crucial point of it is the training, club officer training, which we have conduct in June and January. But if club charters after it, so how we approach for the club officer training? What should be the approach of club officer training?
DTM Sushil, would you like to take this up? It's a very specific question.
So, like after club officers, how the club officers training will take place?
Yes, after the charter.
So, after the charter, we had club officers training on 1st and 2nd July. Now, let us say we had 3 clubs in pipeline. One of them is already chartered. Let us say DI Patil Toastmaster Club, that club that we are talking about. So how the training takes place is there are layers of training. One, we have a collective training conducted by all division directors. So it is called TLTP. Now, after that, we have second layer, which is called online top-up TLTP. So the first one we did in person, the second one we did virtual, and now the third one is an area director-led trainings. So all the area directors are empowered to train the club officers. So same thing applies here. All the area directors in their area, they are adding a new club. They are empowered to train the club officers. Of course, they can leverage the help of their fellow area directors, other division directors, and any other club mentor sponsor which is available. So they can leverage help of all Toastmaster community. There is no limitation to it, but you need to plan it as an area director and club mentors.
Thank
Hope
you.
that answers.
Yes. Thank you. I got a point. It resolved my concern also. Thank you, DTM Sushil. And also, I saw in one of the side online membership building resource. So just wanted that resource side link path or something. Because I have one club which is an online club, so it will help to guide them building online.
We'll share all the resources, all the links. Everything is consolidated, but we'll share the links over an email with all the attendees here.
Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghavendra, for asking this question. I think Toastmaster Ram Prasad has a question. Please go ahead.
Morning, am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you, the district committee, for organizing this. I joined a little late, so this might have been already covered by you. So I wanted to ask, is there any eligibility criteria to become a club mentor?
As far as I know, there is no eligibility as such, but of course, you need to have certain experience in Toastmasters. So if you have taken up any leadership role, that would really help you to do justice to your role as a club mentor, because you are going to help people who are new to Toastmasters, perhaps, or the entire program. So a certain level of expertise and certain level of knowledge is expected. Of course, you have to also it's ideal that you have demonstrated leadership skills within the community, quote unquote, again, so that it's easier for you to do, perform that role, and also the club to get benefited from your experience and your expertise.
Yes.
For a club coach, if you ask me, the club coach training is tomorrow. Just would like to add there would be there must be, or there is in fact certain eligibility criteria. Yeah, but if you want to know more about that, you can join the training tomorrow. But here it's not hard and fast, as I can tell. Okay, I think DTM Bank has something to add here.
Yes, Ashraf, you are right. Technically, there is no such requirement, but Toastmaster Ram Prasad, it is, they say that a leader is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. That quote by John Maxwell, that is not only for speeches, but for mentoring as well. You need to know what challenges the club members are going to, come across. You need to know how are you going to guide them. You have to show them that this is how it has to be done. And that is why we precisely say that at least, you should try to have played some XCOM roles before taking up the role of a mentor. It is suggested, it is not a written guideline as such, so that it is for your benefit. If you are planning to mentor a club, attend this kind of a training which you are doing. It's a great thing. So my appreciation to one and all who are attending this training, and understand it correctly, because a new club and all the members are looking up to you as a mentor. So that is where the fine line of what is written in the book and what is to be implemented, that needs to be understood by us. All right. So that is something which I wanted to add. Back to you, Toastmaster Ashrafali. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Bank. Okay. Do we have any more questions?
Also have the presence of our PQD and DTM Dr. Sheikh Shakil Anjum sir, who is already a veteran and a mentor for many clubs. So let's hear from him his views while others are framing the questions.
Sure.
Very good morning.
With your permission,
of course.
Very good morning to all of you, my trio, as well as our presenter. I would just like to ask one question, and very well explained by our presenter, Toastmaster Ashraf Ali. So the audience, this is just a question which you can answer from your listening power. Ashraf has at some point of time has said there are 3 membership building awards set by the Toastmaster International. So if anyone can just unmute themselves and say the first one, second one, and the third one, three different person. I just wanted to see how many member can remember, or it is a very simple question, not a very difficult question. Ashraf Ali has said there was something like he mentioned the name of award. Okay, I will make it more simpler.
Smedley.
Yes, wonderful. Who answered this?
Toastmaster Raghavendra.
Okay, Smedley Award. This comes in the first term. Yes. So which is the time period?
1st June to 30 September.
1st June. What?
July to September. September.
Ideally, just the simple thing, any of the 3 award is just for 2 months. That is, it starts from
August.
first of 1 month and it ends on the last date of the second.
August.
So this is a simple thing, So if it is ending on September 30th, that means it should start 1st of August.
August, okay.
Right? So this is the time that we should all concentrate that our club should have this medley award, At least, if not 100%, let it come to 80%. This is the time for Smedley Award, and all the members who are attending or from different clubs, different area should come and make up the mind. One thing, that as a member, I'm not asking that are you a VP member? It is not the job of VP membership. It is the job of every member. You one each and bring one member, each member. So this is how we have to participate and contribute to and you will become the sponsor of that member. And if you have 5 members sponsored, that means you bring 5 guests and turn into members. That means you will have a sponsor pin from the Toastmasters International. Remember, Toastmaster International. So this is something we should look at this point of time. That means we should all try to have this medley award ribbon for our club. And how will we have this? We will add 5 or more members, which may be new members, which can be reinstated members, or which can be dual members. Okay. So especially for the corporate club, please, every member of the corporate club, see that you spread the news of Toastmasters among your company members and ask them to attend and make them members, because making on corporate side is really difficult. Okay, I think this is what I wanted to just emphasize at this point of time. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to talk to all. Thank you, and back to you, our presenter, sir, Mr. Coordinator.
Thank you, DTM Shakil. The hallmark of a leader is the one who strives for excellence. And it couldn't have been more appropriate when our PQD wants us to achieve this award, and also words of encouragement and how do we go about it. Thank you, DTM Shakil, for inspiring us and setting a goal for us so that we are also encouraged to try to get this award for every club. Thank you. All right. Okay. So with that, we have concluded this training. Of course, I see a lot of people who have already left, but for those who are present, we would like to get your feedback on this session, first of all. And secondly, we would like to ask you to, in fact, take up a quiz, which would help you understand the role better, and also would like to get some information on your on where are you and a little more, so that whenever the opportunity shows up, we could plan accordingly the assignment of mentors based on which area, where do you stay, where you can contribute. So all those data will be sending out an email soon. So please respond to the survey. And last but not the least, before I conclude, I say that we are here in Toastmasters to learn. And every avenue that we have, every leadership opportunity, every opportunity to speak is something which is going to help us become a better speaker, a better leader, a better person in all. So this is a great opportunity. You've already taken up a first step by attending this training and getting to know what this role is all about. The next step would be to actually get your hands dirty, as they say, and understand, get a first-hand experience of being a mentor.